In this video, I'm going to brief over the menus for the website. So we have two navigation areas, and then I'm also going to talk a little bit about all the pages that we currently have and just a really quick thought or direction for why that page exists and where it's located in the backend. So starting off on the homepage of our site, we have our top nav here. That's going to be reflected in the back end through the new menu. It's listed, and then secondary bar is the footer menu. This top nav isn't used. I'll probably be deleting it at the end of this video. That's just some extra stuff in there. But you'll see the primary menu and then footer menu. So you have primary menu right here. Footer menu comes in as a second line on the bottom. These social links are all set up in Divi, so that's all handled there. But if you need to add special links, sometimes we use these, like facility use here is a really good example of that one. We don't link this anywhere else on the website, but it's for rental use in the Hayden campus, so just a good footer link type scenario. As we kind of dig through this, we've got a couple different tiers. So under Jesus, which is just a custom link, as you can see over here, we have a couple pages. So all about Jesus, know God, what we believe, and prayer. It's going to just be anything dealing with spiritual life. We have a top level page for communities, and then under our Connect tab, this is just a blank placeholder. And the way that this is the same as Jesus actually. The way these are set up over here is if you go in and just put a placeholder tag in there and then name it. When I click on this, it's not going to do anything. It'll give you the placeholder tag, so then you can throw all those underneath that category. So underneath that, we have that's pretty much where the main bulk of our pages sit. So we have serve for people to get on serve teams, equip for any classes, mission for any of our missions-based stuff, a link to our full staff directory. Our youth group has its own page. Anthem Kids has a page that it references for any kind of what to expect, deeper stuff with Anthem Kids, as well as baptism at the very end there. So whenever we have baptisms coming up, we can direct people straight to this page, and it has a full declaration of what we do for baptisms. It directs them to a link where they can sign up. So under the resources tab, I like to think of this one mostly as our feeds. So we have like our feed of sermons, we have our feed of articles, we have our feed of events, and then also if anybody is looking for work, if there's any current jobs that are open, they'll be listed under this page. So all of these are just actual pages that are created within our website, and then those feeds are populated in those pages. If you go to gatherings, this is where they would see any of our locations. So as these would expand, you would add more underneath this tab. News is going to be like our bulletin essentially, so the live bulletin, and then give is obviously for our online giving. So that's like a really quick kind of view at the whole thing. If we take a look at pages in the back end here, you can see there's a couple, all the published pages here are set, but there's a couple drafted pages as well. And I figured I'd maybe just explain through some of those really quickly. So these are all of our draft pages that aren't currently being used on the website, but are either have been used in the past or were started with some developing and are just kind of saved and ready to be set up if they needed to be included. Twin Lakes Friends Camp. So this used to be a page on the site. This will still have 2016 content on it, which right now it's March 1st, 2017. So this is outdated for the time, but if we end up having another camping season, you could just refresh this page and like put the new assets and links in, save a lot of time that way. So oftentimes, like for annual stuff like that, I would publish a page, so I would just turn it into a draft, and then I'll set it in the background and just take the links off of the top navigation or something like that. So the page for this site used to say Twin Lakes Camp, like right here or something like that. Women's retreat, we did this one a little while back. So I kept this one just because it's kind of like if we ever do a retreat, this is a pretty good page layout for it. You have big header artwork, kind of the first content for it, the main speaker, location, gets directions to it, a contact form, and then if anybody wants to sign up, then at that point we probably had like a sign up portion on here. And then usually once it's done, it'll get toggled off or something like that. So worship, I created this one. We've never actually used this page, but this was one of the concepts kind of as we were building things out. So praise and worship, this page would be set up for like have some playlists of what we're currently playing at our gatherings, things that we're working on. This can be updated by somebody on like Spotify, and they can drag and drop stuff onto that list. It'll just dynamically load into the site here. So this just accesses that 2016 summer mix, as you can see from This Is Our Anthem. So we haven't used this ever, and so it has a bunch of sample content in here, but this was kind of just an idea to create a page for the worship environment of our church. Planning Center, this is another one that we never actually ended up using, but I kind of started to lay the page out. We have a ton of people that use Planning Center, so all of our tech teams, all of our worship teams, pretty much anybody in our production department, as well as I think they've started to use it in some of our kids ministry as well. But onboarding with Planning Center can be kind of tough sometimes, and so thought that it would be a good idea to have just a page where people could go to and they would get kind of our overview and maybe watch like a tutorial video, something like you're watching right now. And so it would just show them like this is how you receive a request when somebody wants to book you, this is the blockout dates, and how you can set that. And then if you're getting too many notifications, you can click back that way. You can click here to log into your Planning Center, or if they have issues with it or if they're having trouble with it in general, maybe they can get in contact with somebody who would handle that. So just kind of a resource area for our volunteers, something that would help equip them and bring a little bit more involvement in that area, make it easy. So once again, something we never ended up using, but is there nonetheless. And then this creative one was one that I had created for if we were going to start doing these creative nights, of which we never ended up doing, but this is just kind of some page layouts and concepts. So I just wanted to make sure that whoever's managing the site is kind of aware of some of these things. So if they want to start to utilize them or kind of play around with some of these designs, some of this is already done and some of the legwork is already there. So the beautiful thing about Divi is you can copy and paste any of these sections over into other pages or mess around with them there. So I've got a live video section also, and this one is just like if we did end up doing like YouTube live and streaming one of our sermons or something like that, you can actually embed those videos into the website, and then the player will work right here. And so this page was just kind of prepared for if we ended up having thisisouranthem.com/live for any live stuff. I was concepting a little bit as we were building out the video department, so that was one of the things we were working on. This golf tournament one, so this is a great one. This will definitely need to get used in 2017. I believe they're going to use the same branding. We've already started some of the process with the tournament, but they would just need any of these dates to be adjusted. Just has a lot of great material, and it's pretty well laid out for how to play, where to sign up, what to do, sponsoring the tournament, all different kinds of things like that. So most of these pages probably, like on this one, this doesn't have anywhere to actually like play in the tournament, but I think there was 2 buttons here originally, so there's probably 2 call to actions in this area, and you just have to add that one back. Same thing with probably down here, or there was probably a whole section or something like that that you clicked on. And I would imagine, we can go take a look really quick actually, that this is just disabled in there. So if we go in the full width header here, if we go up to the top where it says sponsor the tournament, you can see that that's no longer there anymore. So we click down here and we say play in the tournament, and then let's just put a placeholder in there for now. So, yep, there we go. So it's already all set up. And then there's probably, yep, there's the section. So if we just enable these sections down here and bring them back in, which I'll save this page, so by the time you guys take a look at this, you'll probably just be seeing the live info, but there we go, registered your team today. So that's how you do it.